Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. It is going to be the game preview ahead of Everton's Premier League fixture away to Norwich City tomorrow night. We're going to be sitting down talking about the game, giving my predicted starting 11 and talking about how Carlo Ancelotti can approach this game in order to take all 3 points. It's not live, as I'm sure you've known. We've done the live game review to the Merseyside derby yesterday, so I thought, you know what, we'll sit down, we'll change it up a little bit, we'll do a video for today's preview. So, Norwich City restarting the Premier League as they pretty much left off in March. 3-0 loss to Southampton. I think it was on Saturday afternoon. Not a great performance by them whatsoever. Currently sitting 20th in the Premier League with 5 wins, 6 draws and 19 losses. They really haven't had a good season whatsoever. Their form isn't great, and it does look, unfortunately, for Norwich City and Norwich fans that they'll be playing Championship football next season. However, saying that, one of those 5 wins this season did come against Everton at Goodison Park. I remember the game very, very fondly. It was, well, not very, very fondly because it was a shocking game, but I remember the game well. Fondly was the complete wrong word to use there, but I remember the game well. It was the game where I really sort of started to believe that Marco Silva wasn't the right man for the job. It was the game that sort of tipped me over the edge in you know, wanting Marco Silva to leave the football club. It became apparent at that point that when we were beaten so heavily, because I think it was a 3-0 loss, when we were beaten so heavily by a team that really weren't in good form and really hadn't performed you know, well this season, you know, it was at that point that I thought, you know, Marco Silva isn't the manager to take us forward. Obviously, fast forward, you know, months and months later, we're now sitting with Carlo Ancelotti as the boss after a decent performance against Liverpool. You know, listen, it was for me it was a fantastic tactical performance by Everton Football Club. We went out, we done exactly what we needed to do, we nullified their strengths and we hit them on the counter. And okay, if we'd have been a little bit more sharp, if we'd have been a little bit more clinical with our finishing, we could have even won that game on Sunday night against Liverpool. You could see that, you know, even Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming out after the game saying that, you know, the players were a little bit rusty, they weren't quite at their best because obviously it was the first game back in Premier League action. But I thought tactically from Carlo Ancelotti, he got it absolutely spot on against Liverpool. He nullified their strengths and we exposed their weaknesses, certainly when Dejan Lovren come on. And I think, you know, a lot of Evertonians were happy to take a point in that game. I think even they sat down with a lot of Evertonians and said, listen, you know, a goalless draw against Liverpool to restart your Premier League campaign, would you take that? I think a lot of Evertonians would have taken that, but it's really important that we now push on, we move forward, and we get the 3 points on Wednesday night against Norwich. Because look, Norwich aren't in great form. They haven't had a fantastic season. They started the season, you know, okay, but then, you know, ever since, you know, literally September, October time, they've tailed off. And I think, like I said, it's really important that we go out there on Wednesday and we get the 3 points, because we need to kickstart our season. Now, it was always going to be difficult coming up against a side like Liverpool in the first game, not only because it's a Merseyside derby, not only because of the, you know, the rivalry that's there, but also because they're a very good team. You know, they're the best team in the league, one of the best teams in the world. So taking away the fact that it was a Merseyside derby, stripping all of the rivalry away from it, we were coming up against a very good team. So it was always going to be very difficult to hit the ground running straight away. We took the point out of that game. You know, it was a very good professional tactical performance by the Blues, and now we have to move on and get the 3 points in this game, and then hopefully we can kickstart then and end the season positively, because there's not going to be a long break between the end of this season and the start of next season. So it's vitally important that we get the wins that we can get, and ultimately this is a game that we really should be winning. Like I said, Norwich kick-started their Premier League campaign again with a 3-0 loss at home to Southampton. We travelled to Norwich City. I think we have to travel on the day of the game, if I'm not mistaken, which is a little bit of a pain in the arse because it's so far away from Liverpool in terms of the travelling. I think there's this new rule in the Premier League that teams have to travel on the day, which isn't going to help. But ultimately, listen, Southampton have to make that same trip. It's not quite as long, but they had to make that same trip and still turned up and absolutely blew Norwich out the park. And I'm expecting exactly the same from Everton. We need to go out there and we need to win on Wednesday night. And if we can come out of the restart of the Premier League 2 games with a draw against Liverpool and a big win against Norwich, then I'll be happy, because then hopefully we can kick on, then finish the season strong, like I said, going into next season. So we'll dive straight into my predicted starting 11 then for this game. I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal. Had a decent game against Liverpool on Sunday. Didn't really have an awful lot to do, but whatever he needed to do, he done it quite well. I've gone for a back four of Luca Dean, Mason Holgate, Michael Keane and Seamus Coleman. Now, I expect Carlo Ancelotti to make some changes in this game. I expect there to be some squad rotation. I expect some players to get their opportunity and maybe other players be given a little bit of a rest. Obviously, it's only been a couple of days since that Merseyside derby against Liverpool. But what is important to remember is we don't actually play for another week after Wednesday's game against Norwich. I think our next game is a week on Wednesday against Leicester. So the players will have a fair sort of rest in terms of obviously the run of fixtures that we've got. A week's rest is quite significant, obviously basing it off the fact that we've only had a couple of days rest since the Merseyside derby. So I don't expect there to be a lot of rotation, but I do expect there to be some players, moving around a little bit. Obviously, the performance on Sunday was good, but there was players that looked a little bit tired. You could see that, the fitness wasn't all of there, and even Dominic Calvert-Lewin come out and saying they weren't as sharp as they would like to be, they weren't as clinical as they would like to be. But I've gone for the same back four, two centre-backs. I don't think Yerry Mina's going to be fit for this game. We'll hear more of an update, obviously, in Carlo Ancelotti's pre-game press conference, but I don't think Yerry Mina will be fit for this game. So I've gone for Mason Holgate and Michael Keane, both having a good game against Liverpool, very solid defensively. Mason, I think, had a better game than Michael Keane, but not by much. Obviously, they were both very, very good defensively. Luca Dean at left back, I think he should be okay to play in this game. Again, really, really good game against Liverpool. Good, decent defensive performance. Got the ball, used it well, broke forward. Seamus Coleman on the other side. I'm as humming and hawing a little bit regarding Seamus Coleman, because I don't know if Carlo Ancelotti will give Djibril Sidibe a go and put Djibril Sidibe in there to give Seamus a little bit of a rest in preparation for the Leicester game. Although, like I said, there's a week between the Norwich game and the Leicester game, and I think Seamus Coleman should have more than enough time to rest up. Listen, Seamus was absolutely fantastic on Sunday against Liverpool. A 10 out of 10 performance for me. Really, really professional performance. Led by example, got himself involved, defended absolutely perfectly, and if he's got that energy, if he's got that stamina, if he's got that fitness, then he should be in there on Wednesday against Norwich. He really, really should be, because for me, defensively, he's a lot better than Djibril Sidibe is, and Djibril Sidibe picked up a knock just before the Liverpool game, and that's why he wasn't involved. But for me, Seamus Coleman defensively is a lot better than Djibril Sidibe is, and we need to make the most of that while we can. And if Seamus is up for it and Seamus is fit enough, then for me, he's starting this game. Going into the centre midfield, then I've gone for a little bit of a shake. We've actually gone for Andre Gomez and Gylfi Sigurdsson. Now, I know a lot of people mightn't be happy with this. Obviously, Tom Davies started alongside Andre Gomez in the Merseyside derby, and I thought Tom had an okay game, to be honest with you. I thought the first half he looked a little bit lost. He wasn't really getting into the game an awful lot. His passing wasn't great. His turning wasn't great. But then he sort of grew into it in the second half. Obviously, he had the best chance of the game for us, where he hit the post, which would have been absolutely unbelievable if he'd have put that one in the back of the net. But even after that, he started to go into the game a little bit more. He grew in confidence. He picked the ball up. He moved it. But I just think that Carlo Ancelotti will change the midfield two around a little bit for this game. I'm not too sure Tom Davies will be able to play another sort of 90 minutes or start another game only a couple of days after the last one. Andre Gomez, another player that didn't look particularly as fit as we'd like him to look on Sunday. However, he's going to have to play. There's not many other options. I really don't want to see, Morgan Schneiderlin and Gylfi Sigurdsson playing together. Morgan Schneiderlin might even be an Everton player come Wednesday. There's rumours today that he'll complete his deal with Nice before that game. I put Gylfi Sigurdsson in there next to Gomez. I thought Gylfi done well when he come on against Liverpool. I thought he brought some energy, he brought some intensity, and I don't know whether that's because he was on the bench and he was brought on and he knew he had to make an impact. I'd like Gylfi Sigurdsson to put that type of performance in when he's starting games of football, because notoriously over the last sort of 12 to 18 months we've seen Gylfi Sigurdsson perform better, I'd say, when he's come on as a substitution. He done it against West Ham when he scored that worldie, all those months ago when the Premier League season first kicked off in August, and he seems to perform better when he comes off the bench. And I don't know whether that's because he knows he's got a point to prove, or because obviously he's coming on against players that have already played 60-70 minutes and are already tiring, and they're automatically at that level. No disrespect to Gylfi Sigurdsson, but fitness wise and he hasn't got a lot of pace, he hasn't got a lot of urgency. He's not the fastest midfielder. He doesn't get about an awful lot. So maybe that he's better placed in that sort of situation, coming off the bench 60, 70 minutes and impacting a game. But I thought he played well against Liverpool. Listen, I've ripped Gylfi Sigurdsson to bits when I've thought it'd be necessary this season when he's not performed. But I thought he'd come on. He'd done his job well. He moved the ball forward. He pushed us forward. He got himself involved. He was tackling. So I've gone for Gylfi Sigurdsson next to Andre Gomez and given Tom Davies a little bit of a rest. Going on to the wingers then, I've gone for Bernard on one wing and Richarlison on the other. Bernard obviously not starting the game against Liverpool. Anthony Gordon starting. I thought Anthony played well. If I'm being honest with you, I thought he played well. It was a disciplined performance by him. He didn't get in the game as much as I would like him to get in the game, but I don't necessarily think that's his fault. I think that's more to do with the tactics that we played and the style in which we played. We sort of had two banks of four, and ultimately, you know, we played deep for large parts of that game, and when we broke, you know, we sort of broke with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison as the main sort of attackers. And Anthony Gordon's job, along with Alex Iwobi's on Sunday, was purely to you know, mix it up a little bit in that midfield, but also to help out defensively and make sure that they've got the cover for the two fullbacks. I don't think he'll start again on Wednesday. I think it was a great opportunity and he put in a decent performance, and I fully expect Anthony Gordon to start more Premier League games for Everton before the season is up, and I fully expect him to be involved in more Premier League games. You might even see him off the bench on Wednesday, but I don't think he'll start. I've gone for Bernard. I think this is a game that Bernard really suits. Listen, we're coming up against a team that haven't got an awful lot of pace, haven't got an awful lot of quality, you know, without disrespecting them in the squad. I think having a player like Bernard on the wing, somebody who's quick, got a lot of skill, got a lot of ability on the ball, can take it down, can use his pace, can use his energy, and can get past teams. I think Bernard will shine in a game like this against players that maybe aren't able to keep up with that pace or that sort of good football and brain that Bernard has got. On the other side then, I've gone for Richarlison. Listen, Richarlison has formed an absolutely fantastic partnership with Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, and I think they've been fantastic together. I really do. Ever since Carlo Ancelotti come in, and even prior to Carlo Ancelotti coming in, ever since Duncan Ferguson come into the squad, come into the managing the first team, I think both Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have been absolutely unbelievable up front. They've been fantastic. They're scoring there enough every week. Their work rate is unmatched. It really is. The pair of them are unbelievable, and they've shown that again last Sunday. But I pushed Richarlison out on the wing for this game. I think, again, he's a player that can play in multiple different positions, right wing, left wing, up front, and it gives an opportunity for Moise Kean to step in, and we'll talk about in a second. But ultimately, when you look at the wingers that played against Liverpool, it's going to be a very different tactical game. You know, we're not going to have to sit back as much. We're not going to have to be as deep as we were on Sunday. We need to break Norwich down. We need to dominate this game. Ultimately, from Everton this season, I haven't seen enough dominant performances. I haven't seen enough games where Everton go out and go, you know what, in the nicest, most respectful way possible, we are better than you and we're going to absolutely twat you everywhere. I haven't seen enough of them performances this season, and I know that, you know, there's a respectful way to go about it, and I know that there's been some games where we've put in decent performances, but I want Everton to go out and go, well, Southampton, who are in and around our position, I think they're a couple of places below us on similar points to us, they turned up against Norwich and they absolutely blew them out the park, didn't show them any respect, they turned up, they got the job done, they beat them 3-0, big, top professional performance, and then they left. That's what I want to see from Everton on Wednesday. I want to see Everton turn up, utilise our qualities, utilise our skills, having a Richarlison, a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Moise Kean within the same team, turning up, beating, Norwich comfortably, and then leaving, and then going on to the next game against Leicester next week, because Leicester will be a very tough game, and this game against Norwich, on paper, should be a comfortable win, and I know it's never that way, and again, I know I've probably just jinxed it there, and it's proven that it's never that way, because, all of those months ago when Norwich came to Goodison Park, it should have been an easy win then. They weren't in great form then. They were struggling. There was already talk about possible relegation then, and they turned up and they beat us at our home ground, and rather they embarrassed us on that day. So I'm not saying that you know, it's guaranteed that Everton are going to turn up, put a performance in and win. But under Carlo Ancelotti, I would fully expect the instruction for this game for the lads to be go out there and win this game of football, because we've got, I think there's no question about it, we've got a lot more quality than Norwich City have, and we should be turning up and we should be blowing them away, and that's what I fully expect on Wednesday. I want to be sitting here at 9 o'clock, 9:30 on Wednesday night going, yeah, what a boss performance that was by Everton. We've absolutely blown them out the park. A little bit like Burnley last season, for example, Boxing Day last season, where we turn up and we just absolutely blather the team, because we haven't seen enough of it this season. And Carlo Ancelotti's tactics were absolutely fantastic on Sunday against Liverpool, and I expect them to be spot on again on Wednesday, but I expect them to be different. It's not going to be a two banks of four. It's not going to be sit deep and hit them on the break. For me, I expect us to take control of this game, push forward, utilise our skill, utilise our qualities, and break quickly, and ultimately just be too much for Norwich. And that's why I think it's important that Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin do both start this game. I didn't want to take one of them out, because they have got the most quality in the team. They're the most likely to, break with energy, break with pace, get the goals that we desperately need. But I also want to see Moise Kean in there and given an opportunity. So I've gone with Richarlison on the right-hand side. Listen, Alex Iwobi didn't impress me whatsoever on Sunday, and I think Alex Iwobi, had an opportunity now when the Premier League's returned, and again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again, he's not a winger, he shouldn't be playing on the wing, he's not best utilised there. For me, he's a centre midfielder, and that's where he should be played. But I've gone for Richarlison on the right-hand side, and then, of course, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Moise Kean up front. Again, squad rotation is going to be key here. Again, that's why there's been changes in the midfield, that's why I've predicted changes in the midfield. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison should be fit enough to play this game. Like I said, they work tirelessly, and their work rate is absolutely unbelievable. But I do want to see Moise Kean being given an opportunity, and this is a big opportunity for Moise Kean. If he can turn up and he can put on the burners and he can give us a fantastic performance against the side that ultimately, like I said, we should be blowing away. No disrespect, that I think, there's big plans for him in the future. This is an opportunity for Moise Kean that he should be snatching with both hands if he's given it, and I do expect it to be some rotation, not an awful lot, because I don't think Carlo Ancelotti would do that, and like I said, there's quite a significant break between the Norwich game and the Leicester game, but I expect us to turn up and put in a really good performance. And if Moise Kean is given the opportunity, like I said, I expect him to fully, to take it fully with both hands and utilise that, and give Carlo Ancelotti something to think about in that week, between the Norwich and the Leicester game. Give him a question, give him that thought of, hang on, maybe I should put Richarlison over on the right hand side and give Moise Kean another go, because ultimately we put out our best possible team, I felt, against Liverpool, our youngest team as well, 24 years of age I think it was on average, and we'll be putting out a very similar team against Leicester in a couple of weeks time. Another top team, our best team that we could possibly put out. There'll be a little bit of squad rotation I expect against Norwich, however, still a team good enough to go out there and win this game, and ultimately that's what we need to do. Like I said, no disrespect to Norwich, but sitting 20th in the Premier League, only 5 wins this season, one of them being against Everton, 19 losses. Again, I take a lot from, if we were playing Norwich as our first game back and they hadn't played the game back, I'd be thinking, right, okay, there may be a little bit of a resurgence in the Norwich team. They may be trying to fight to get out the relegation zone. I don't expect an easy game, but, I look at their performance against Southampton the other day and they weren't good. They got blown out the park by a Southampton team who, like I said, are in and around the same position as us, so there's absolutely no excuse for me that Everton don't go out and do the same. I fully expect a victory on Wednesday. I wouldn't take anything less. For me, it's a much needed 3 points. I think we need to finish the season positively. We need to finish the season strong. Ultimately, if we finish the season in a positive light, we beat Norwich, we take 4 points out of the first 2 games of the Premier League restart, which I think is good, and then we go on to the Leicester game, we put in a performance, then we finish the season on a strong foot. I then think it sets up next season perfectly. We bring in a couple of players in the transfer window, we improve on certain positions that desperately need improving on, such as the centre midfield position, and then we go on to next season and we hope to really push for those European places next season. But if we're going to push for the European place even next season, we cannot be dropping points against sides that, it's pretty much nailed on that they're going to go down and that they're going to be playing Championship football now. We've got more quality than them, and we need to turn up and we need to show that. And like I said, we can respect Norwich, but we need to turn up and ultimately say, listen, we're the better team here and we're going to win this game. I don't want to see us sitting back. I don't want to see us being lackadaisical. I don't want to see us waltzing around. I want to see high-intensity football. I want to see us turning up, bish, bash, bosh, and ideally by half-time having this game done and dusted, you know, sewn up, there you go, a nice, easy second half, and then go into the Leicester game next week. But ultimately, listen, I fully expect a victory for Everton on Wednesday. I wouldn't take anything less in the form that Norwich are in the way in you know the results that they've had this season, taking away the game against Everton, of course, earlier on in the season. I fully expect us to win this game, and if we don't, then I will be very, really disappointed, and I will have questions to ask, whether it be of Ancelotti, whether it be of the players. There will be questions to be answered if we don't manage to get the 3 points on Wednesday. We need to turn up. We need to be, put in a professional performance in the same vein as the Liverpool game, but ultimately tactics, I assume will be a little bit different. That we'll turn up and we'll play at Norwich, because ultimately against Liverpool, you can't really turn up against one of the best teams in the world and say, right, okay, we're going to go toe-to-toe with you, we're going to go head-to-head here, because their squad, their players are of a better quality than ours, whereas Norwich, we're in that situation where our players have a better quality than theirs, so we need to step up, we need to bring the intensity to them, and fully expect this Norwich team to try and sit back and sort of adopt a similar strategy to what we've seen, on Sunday, sitting back and then trying to hit us on the break. We need to be aware of that. We need to be defensively strong again, because they have proven that they can score goals this season, and ultimately we need to utilise our opportunities and take our opportunities, because again, even though it was the first game back and it's not that big of a deal because of the fact it was the Merseyside derby, ultimately we didn't take our opportunities on Sunday, and we can't afford to not do that on Wednesday. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments section down below. Big thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on my predicted starting 11 over there as well. If you'd agree with it, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with it, give me yours down below as well. Big thanks for watching. Please hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. We're flying towards the 2,000 subscriber mark now. If you could hit that, it will be absolutely unbelievable. Don't forget, there'll be an instant match reaction and a player ratings video out straight after the game on Wednesday night, so look out for those. Hopefully it's a big performance, hopefully it's a big win by Carlo Ancelotti's men, and yeah, we just have to hope, don't we, really? And for me, we have to go out there and we have to win this game of football. There's no excuses to not do. Big thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed, please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.